Right, we're on. I've just finished work. I'm heading out to Cardrona for a few holes with Jamie Allen. And we're going to talk about hitting irons. So I'm quite interested to find out what Jamie's thoughts are on why amateurs struggle with irons at times. There is reasons, I believe, that why people do have that issue. I mean, an iron's not the hardest shot in the world, but certainly I get a lot of people who do come for lessons, not necessarily because they're struggling, but just when I chat to them and the chat evolves, the consistency in irons seems to be an issue. And I'm really wondering why that is. I have my own thoughts and feelings on it, but I'd like to find out what Jamie thinks and why he, or how he approaches that when he's coaching. Right, we're down here at Cardrona. Jamie's in shot somewhere. Jamie, you alright? Here he comes, ladies.
The walk of an actor.
We're going to talk about iron play. I did a little intro in the car, as you probably know, and we're going to talk about the most common fault that Jamie and I see when we're coaching with regards to irons. Right, Jay, most common... Microphone is on. Well. Right, Jay, most common faults when hitting irons, what do you see?
You see the lot.
You do? You
see the lot.
You see them all.
Helping the ball up in the air, try to hit an iron like a driver, hitting driver like an iron.
Do you know, helping the ball in the air, I see that all the time. And when we coach a lot, we get lots of different lessons. When people are struggling with their driver, when you ask them to hit a few irons to warm up, you can see what's going on with their irons. Of course, that knocks out the driver, and that's the actual problem. But of course, D-plane and more loft and shorter club, they get away with it with the iron. But they're hitting driver, and it's just all over the place. Well, I'll go my most common thing first.
You go first, aye.
Right, my most common thing I see is people just not committing to the shot. Okay, so if they're basically, if I'm hitting my shot here and I'm hitting draw, the base of my plane is out to the right. So let's call it the path of the club. Okay, so the path of my club, let's say, is going along that line. And the relevant, target's down here, but I'm trying to swing into out. So that's the base of my plane. So I want my path to go in that direction. It's committing to that, rather than trying to help the ball in the air and doing some sort of swoosh at the golf ball. It's having that. It's basically having the balls to commit to your path. Eh?
Yeah.
Then, so people try and pick it. So that's a lack of commitment.
Aye, yeah. It is a lack of commitment, and it's trying to help the ball in the air as well.
Exactly. So if I've set myself up, regardless of where my feet are, I want the path of my club to match up through impact with that white cane. So I get to the top of my swing, and then from there I have to have the balls to commit to release this club to the base of that plane, to that line. Do you agree with that?
I do agree, yeah.
Right. So if I don't do that, if I come away from this path, if you like, this intended path, I'm going to try and help the ball in the air.
Yeah.
I'm not committing to the path of the club I want.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot to commit to that, because we're influenced by what's going on around here. I mean, the green's close, or they've got water or something. So then the actual act of the event we're trying to do becomes different.
It does, yeah.
We don't focus on the actual job in hand, we think about the environment instead of the actual task at hand.
Yeah.
So I think I try and encourage people to release the club and roll the left wrist to the base of their plane, or their intended path of the club. If that's your only focus, much easier to commit to the shot.
I think so. I mean, I think knowing your distance is a big factor as well. I think getting fitted properly for your irons, and knowing your, obviously, spec each wedge, how far you hit each club is definitely within your comfort zone if you're on the golf course.
You've got to, all that homework's got to be done.
I think so.
The actual act of hitting the shot, I see, is too many people they get themselves set up. Okay, I'm hitting draw here, path's going to be into out, I know where the base of my plane is, I know where the club head blur is, the path is, I'm releasing the club to that, I'm rolling the wrist along that, or then I play the shot, I try and help up in the air, ball's gone at your face, and ball's gone miles left, because I've gone away from what I was trying to do.
And you don't like playing golf when it's absolutely Baltic and freezing and on frost, because you get sore fingers.
Exactly, with that sort of motion. Whereas if I stand here and go, okay, my path's into out in relation to my target, I've got myself to the top, I'm going to release to the base of that plane, or to that path, then my left wrist rolling along it. If I'm concentrating fully on the task in hand and forgetting the environment, I'm going to get the draw shot I'm after. So the task in hand, committing to that actual shot, instead of being influenced by the environment, is one of the main problems I see with irons on a golf course.
Aye.
Do you want to hit a shot?
I'll hit a shot and I'll talk about it. So one of the biggest, obviously, common faults I see with playing, I mean, I play a lot of golf for a lot of high handicappers.
Handicappers?
Start again. So guys, I'll talk about the fault now. As you see, you play golf for a lot of high handicappers. When you're playing golf, you don't really switch off on coaching, do you?
No.
But one of the biggest kind of faults I see with an iron play is a lot of golfers don't really understand the way the club's designed and how we kind of hit the golf ball first and then the club hits it down after we actually hit the golf ball. So as it goes back to your kind of, just kind of reiterating what you said, how a lot of golfers kind of don't commit to the shot.
Yep.
My kind of fault is helping the ball up in there. So think about the club hitting the ground before the golf ball and it starts to rise up. But one of the biggest faults you kind of see is a lot of golfers try and get their hands too far ahead at impact.
Yeah.
And what's actually going to happen is they're kind of going to dig it into the ground like that. So the
very steep.
top end of the club's working too far down the way.
Yep.
So to kind of combat that, we kind of need to feel like the left hand moves up slightly through impact after we've kind of taken it.
Absolutely. I mean, your left hand going up, the club goes down.
Yeah.
Opposite reactions. Absolutely.
But
so both similar things, helping the ball into there.
Yeah. But obviously the sweet spot on irons kind of in the middle of the club face, so it's not down here. So if we were to help the ball up in there, then what's going to happen is the sweet spot's kind of going to be on the bottom groove. It's going to create high ball flight, less distance, sore fingers. So to get to get the hit down on it, what we need to do is obviously feel like we're de-lofting the club, so more kind of hands ahead, shaft leaning ahead of the club head, and hit down on the way through.
So it's,
so
absolutely. So almost not smothering it, but certainly getting top of the club.
As if you feel like you're kind of just playing a wee punch shot, almost kind of like that. Like that.
A wee forward
That was
drive
lovely.
through. That was good. Another shot. So really committing to having some sort of game plan. Every shot's got a purpose,
Absolutely.
And if the environment becomes the purpose, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas the actual contact's the purpose. So what you're saying there is this motion, which is releasing the club to the base of your plane or your path. Rolling the left wrist, getting the top of the club to kind of pass the bottom a little bit more. Without being ridiculous. So environment, I mean, obviously it's important, there's water, there's bunkers and things like that, but if we can assess that and then go, right, here's what I'm actually trying to do, and then step up and fully commit to that. And if it goes wrong, then it's better going wrong by fully committing to the shot than it is by pissing around committing to the environment. I'd rather stand here fully committed to what I'm going to do, okay, play my shot, and if that goes in the bunker, then I've done everything I could to not do that. Rather than try and shy away from the bunker and freak out and go in the bunker.
Not getting that back.
Not getting that back, it's gone.
So obviously getting the hands ahead of impact, kind of grooves pointing towards down, but don't over exaggerate. So we don't keep that angle through impact. The left shoulder has to move up, the left hand has to move up, and if the left shoulder moves up, the hands move up, and the path the club head moves in the way.
So having that as your that would be your focus instead of environment, because you can go too far that way. Flat left wrist's great, but I mean bowed at impact's no good. That's no use at all. So as you say, left shoulder goes up to get to the flat left wrist in a straight line. It's not all about forward shafting.
No, it's not.
So interesting. So a focus on the technique. So many people, it's not a case of every shot has a purpose. It's just another shot. I'll just punt this from here to there. And that what use is that?
Exactly.
Hee haw. Hee haw. So there we go, that's a little bit of iron play for you. I fully see that on the golf course, that so many people do not commit to the shot they're actually playing. So influenced by the environment around them, that's going to get you nowhere. It's quite dark that, isn't it? There we go. So focusing on the task in hand, better way to think about that is every shot has a purpose. That is key for me. And not committing to your iron play, you're not going to get the outcomes you're after. Just stand there and go, do you know, if I don't commit to it, it's going to be a bad shot anyway. So let's fully commit to this. I'm going to get the path going into out. I'm going to release the club and roll the left wrist to the base of that plane, to that path. Now that takes commitment to do that. And if you come off that, if you do not commit to that, that's when we get the one that's picking it up. That's when we're getting the one that's trying to help it. So fully committing to that process. Every shot has a purpose. It's going to improve your iron play. As Jamie says, so many people try and pick it up off the ground. That's what I meant as well. That's exactly what I mean. Not committing to that path, releasing the club to that path, rolling the